how did you find your favorite NFT project? Now, most likely you probably found it by word of mouth. That's how most of us find this. But what if you are new to the space? You just discovered NFTs. Maybe you heard about it on a podcast, you saw it on a YouTube channel, or you just stumbled on something that caught your eye on the social media timelines. So how exactly do you end up in a community though? Where do you search? Odds are you don't. Which led me to think of something that could change how we find projects, communities, and like-minded people. Today, I'm going to share that idea with you. And if you think this is viable, you can either run with it or give me some feedback and see how we can build this out together. Hello, I'm Taj, digitally known as Tropic Vibes, the host of Nifty Business, where we highlight NFTs and explore Web 3.0 as we move from pure speculation to creating real-world value. If you spent any amount of time in this space, you know community is something that we always speak about. Whether it is the holders of Pepe Coin or it is anyone that is in any community associated with any cause, theme, way of life, culture, religion, you name it, there is something for everyone. But have you ever found the need to actually search for a community? Let's say you find a new interest that you are learning about. I don't know, maybe you found something on YouTube and you just stumbled down that rabbit hole. And then you said, maybe there is an NFT project or a community that is associated with that. I'm already in Web3, so why not try to find that group? Well, one night I started to think, how would I go out and search that? Because OpenSea, Magic Eden, and the other marketplaces really only show you what's trending. They show you the prices, the top projects by market cap, and so forth, but there are no real good search features. So then I started to think of why Google became Google. Of course, there were so many search engines that came out before Google, except they just weren't good, right? There was a lot of pages coming online, but they had a problem. People couldn't index them and find what they were looking for, what was relevant. So of course I started to think, well, that would be very cool to feed in a whole bunch of data from various projects, various communities, what they're all about, and filter it through some sort of GPT. Of course, the whole AI craze, everyone wants to throw AI on every product, every idea these days, but hear me out with this. I know machine learning, advanced automation, whatever it's called, it's really not AI, but whatever. That's what everyone's talking about these days. So the idea of it would be to use a GPT-like model to then search through all of that data to then spit back whatever interest it was. So for example, if I was into Division 3 lacrosse players, I don't know, just something just really random that probably doesn't have a lot of notoriety, and I'm sure there's a lot of people that are very interested in that particular topic. Well, how do I know that there isn't some sort of community in Web3 that is dedicated to Division 3 lacrosse? It could be out there. I mean, it seems like there's every flavor of every interest known to man that has some sort of community. It's no different in Facebook groups. It is no different in Reddits and subreddits. And of course, the natural progression of any community, any interest is to find its way to Web3, because Web3 just offers the tools that allows communities and community leaders to then coordinate and mobilize towards whatever interest and goal they have together. And in theory, it should actually be pretty easy to build, because you'd find all of these different communities, these descriptions, and you feed their page into a giant database. Then you run it through a GPT that any searcher could then speak to about their particular interest. What are they looking for? What sort of size? What sort of price range are they looking for? What are their goals? Maybe they have a specific chain in mind. All of these different things could be fed into it, and then something could be spit back as a result. Okay, great. There's an idea, a problem that's being solved, but now how does this turn into a business? How is this actually feasible? Well, you'd be providing a service to the various communities, right? So would they be interested in somehow paying a commission or some sort of royalty kickback or fee membership to be within this? Or maybe there's featured listings. It's no different than Google, right? You search for things and then at the top there's ads. Okay, this is where I started to think this thing might actually have some legs. And just as I was getting excited, a voice popped into my head. One of the podcasts that I regularly listen to is Marketing School with Neil Patel and Eric Sue. And one of the things that they always say is do not build a business around a feature. And just as I was getting excited, I started to think, well, is this just a feature? Because in theory, couldn't OpenSea and Magic Eden just integrate this and do this on their own? But then I started to think, well, they don't service every single chain because there's the Wax blockchain, the Hive blockchain, Tezos, and countless other places where they have NFTs with strong communities around various interests, and they are not on Magic Eden, Blur, or OpenSea. And this is especially true once you get outside of the EVM or Solana. So again, is this something that is viable? An aggregator that is searching through all of those different chains, all of the communities, and that information, feeding it to a curious user that's just dying to be connected with other people within that community. It's possible. However, how much time should I really dedicate to building something out like this? That's where you come in. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this particular idea. Because one thing is true, I speak to a lot of people within NFT community. I have a reach as far as the content that I'm creating, spaces that I'm in, events that I attend, and just through a sphere of influence. People that have much bigger reaches than I do happen to speak to me on a regular basis. But when it comes to this particular idea, I would love to know if you think this is something worth pursuing, and maybe you even have the technical knowledge and the wherewithal to actually build something out like this. And if you do, cool. I say go ahead. Do it. But if you do it, please let me know. And this is something that's awesome. I'll help you promote it, market it, and get it out to the masses, because it doesn't matter how great an idea is. If nobody's paying attention to it, it's not really serving anyone. So with that said, please feel free to reach out to me at Tropic Vibes on X or using contact information in the show notes. If you think this is a viable idea, would love to get this thing going. I would love to hear whatever's rolling through your brain on this particular idea. If nothing else, we'll have a great conversation about it, so I look forward to hearing from you. But as usual, I just want to thank you for taking the time to listen to this as we're learning and building Web3 together. So until next time, later. The Nifty Business Arrow is not investment advice. It provides insights and information within the space. As with anything, please do your own research before making a decision whether you're making an investment or a purchase.